Hey guys, so today I'm going for lunch with an entrepreneur from around the world, and he's very big in the decentralized finance world and he's done amazing stuff there. So we're going to be talking DeFi, asking what he's all about, and just getting to know what other global entrepreneurs are doing all around the world and connecting with somebody in the blockchain space. So let's go have lunch and let's see what it's all about. Hey guys, so I'm here with David Gann, who used to be with Huobi Labs and has done very well in crypto and has now opened up his own crypto investment firm. And he is going to tell us a little bit about it. He's here in South Africa. Welcome to South Africa, David.
Thank you for having me. Hey everyone.
Cool. So tell me, what brought about the idea of starting your own crypto investment firm?
Yes, so I've been doing investments for the past 5 years, and starting not only within just crypto, but in Web 2, I was part of a very large Chinese venture capital fund running over $7 billion, investing in early internet consumer products. But then when I saw sort of the rise of crypto in 2016, really wanted to get myself personally involved in not only investments, but also learning more about the technology and eventually starting to invest as a venture capitalist in the space. Why I decided to start my own fund was fairly simple. Being in a bigger corporate for about 4 years, I felt like I learned all I could. I gathered all the resources needed, but also during that time, always sort of preparing to eventually do something for myself. And that's the spirit of Web3 crypto, is to eventually to do something for yourself where you can actually go and empower others with the capital that you have, right?
Definitely, yeah. I love that you've mentioned Web3. I mean, we're seeing so many things happening in Web3. We're seeing Twitter. People are saying, since Binance has jumped on and is backing Elon, maybe we're going to be seeing Twitter becoming a Web3 platform. What are your takes on Web3 and what are you excited about in Web3?
Yeah, so when we think about Web3 and the differences between Web3 and Web2 is like the sense of ownership, right? So I think in Web2, you're always a subtle and passive participant in Web2 technologies, whether you're feeding information to the different platforms or even if you're a content creator yourself, you don't actually own anything within the networks and platforms that you participate in. And Web3 technologies is that, through the form of tokens, is a form of ownership that you have in each and every one of the platforms that you participate in. So ultimately, being a partial owner of anything that you contribute to is extremely meaningful, not only for your upside in your investment into the project, but also like you're part of the decision-making process. And ultimately, that is what entails Web3 projects to be a lot more scalable and a lot more meaningful to the end user.
Definitely. From your experience, I mean, as a venture capitalist who's done very well in the industry, from your experience, from the viewers that are watching, people that are working on their own projects, that are aspiring one day to actually become successful within the Web3 and crypto and NFT space, what have you noticed from entrepreneurs that really makes them go the extra mile and win in this economy? Because I mean, there's a lot of losses, but there's a lot of wins as well. What are those attributes you've noticed when you look as a venture capitalist? What do you look for to say this is what really makes the great entrepreneur stand up in this industry?
Yeah, so I think 2 traits that I definitely look for is, first, the project founder has to be a visionary, right? You have to have a truly original idea that people can have buy-in in, and it fills a need in the market. And the second is really leadership and execution, right? Being able to take that idea and really execute it in a way where people can really follow you and really drive sort of traction in the market. So I think what's inherently different in Web3 versus Web2 is that in Web2 you have to do everything yourself. You have to build out a team, you have to source code, you have to fundraise, you have to do PR marketing. And Web3 is more so like the founder himself really needs to just come up with a really brilliant idea and find other people that can contribute to the cause. And that sort of contribution level can be very much decentralized. You don't have to hire a massive 100, 200, or even 1,000 people dev team. A lot of things are open source that are very readily available for you to use, and everything else people can contribute to and find resources amongst really the community itself that can really attribute to what you're doing.
I like what you've said about Web3, the whole collaboration within Web3. What would you say is essential when somebody wants to start a Web3 project? Because I mean, lots of people are looking and jumping on the Web3 platform. What would you say a couple of things that are fundamental or essential in starting a good Web3 project?
I think it's really about you yourself as entrepreneur really identifying what are some of the problems in Web3, right? So there's so many different problems that need to be addressed today, right? Not only from the technical stack on the infrastructure side, but also on the application side, right? Like building out different token economics model to really facilitate product market fit, right? And I think everyone has a different expertise, and because we're reinventing sort of how the financial infrastructure will be ultimately created, there's so many different pockets where everyone can contribute. And it's really about identifying that problem set that you uniquely are able to help address, and having a cohort of people that can follow along with you to really help and tackle that problem together.
Cool stuff. Thank you so much, David. Guys, you've heard it from David, a successful and acclaimed venture capitalist who's doing very well in the industry. He's told you, look for the problems in Web3 and solve them. And that's where the money is. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, David.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.